Hi, I'm Igor, and I want to tell you about the disassembling and reverse engineering Android applications. So first of all, about me, I was born in Lviv, in Ukraine. I'm not connected anymore with Ukraine, but I love this slide. If you see the Yanukovych. I study IT at Warsaw University of Technology. I'm a developer since gymnasium, since gymnasium I do some code. I write some from Visual Basic to PHP to Java, C++ and so on and so on. Right now, most of the things I write in Java. Some parts I write in Python, and the most bizarre I write in Jython. It's Java and Python together, because I like to script my applications. So let's start. About the law. Polish people always think first about the law, then about the ideas, and let's start this way. So reverse engineering is legal if you want to just to see how something is done and create your plugin to work with it. It's not legal to publicly speak what have you found, and in this presentation I don't have the slides what I have found, but I will tell you this, and please don't take it to the public, because some okay, don't this will be cut, okay, don't worry. So it's legal. In some countries it's not legal, in some countries it's legal. In European Union it's still legal to see. What is reverse engineering? So if you create a program, you go from the idea, then you design it, then you create a code, and then you watch how your application is working. Reverse engineering is first you have the application or something working and try to understand how have it been done and then why. Probably because you want to know your competitors, but probably because you want to copy it, or you just want to learn. I first started to reverse engineer applications because I wanted to learn how to create Android applications. Okay. I didn't have anyone to guide me. I didn't have anyone to show me how to do it. I have Stack Overflow and one great tool, which I will show you in next slide. And I try to teach myself how big developers, how big companies create good, popular applications, not by creating a code, but creating a design, by creating a software architecture. Because this is something we cannot learn from books. How to create the architecture which will be capable to handle many users and still be usable for single user. So, okay, where to start? Today you don't even need. You will have the presentation to download. So you don't need a phone, even a smartphone, to start and disassemble and learn from the code. Right now there is a great tool which is online. It's called APK Downloader. You just put the URL from Google Play there, and it will download you APK. It's great, then you put it in text to jar. So the virtual machine from Android and from normal Java machine is different. The Android machine is called Dalvik, and it's different approach because you have limited memory for heap and for stack. So the code which is produced by these two compilers for Dalvik and for Java is slightly different. That's why you have to use the tool which is called text to jar, which will convert the code from the Dalvik machine, virtual machine, to the jar, to the virtual machine, and then we have tools which already existed before the Android to allow us to watch what is inside the Java applications. Okay, so fun facts. I have been working on reverse engineering since 2011. I started as my master's degree. Right now, I'm finishing my master's degree. It took some time, but doesn't matter. I in this topic because it's really a lot of knowledge which is hidden from us, and we can take it and learn, and even use it as a base for our own product. So first of all, I from 2000, almost 2000 projects, only 84 use the obfuscation. It's because obfuscation is hiding your source code, renaming your classes from a class like player to class A, then B, C, D, and so on and so on. It's to hide your implementation from the possible attacks of reading your code. It's of course not the main, and it will not stop anyone to read your code, but it will filter 99% of people who want to start looking at your code. And only 84 projects from this popular 2000 from the Google Android Play market, only 84 used obfuscation. So those almost 2000, I could easily read, easily understand what have they done and how they designed their architecture. Next fun facts are that almost 200 uses Android annotation, and the most curious fact that is 45 applications were ported from Java Me. I found clear signs that there were previously games for Java micro edition, and then just ported using just moving your code from one environment to another to work on Android. It's very great to see this, so you can have your backward capability. Okay, more fun facts about the ads. I don't know if you see, if it's done back there. Yeah. Okay. So number of apps. It was automatically collected from those apps. So Google Ads are the first one, Flurry, AdMob, AdWheel, and so on and so on. And using my tool, which I am developing currently, you can extract many patterns from existing Android applications to see, for example, how many software design patterns are used. But what's most important and what most interesting, you can look for your own code in someone else's code. For example, you create a plugin and you sell it for some amount of money. Your plugin could be easily injected or used by someone else without your knowledge. And how to know that it is used? You can, of course, ask them, or you can look at their source, but easily and most faster is to use software to detect patterns and look for the patterns of the clear signs of your library, and then have a report that those and those applications use your library, and you need to follow to the code with them. So this is the sample which my pattern engine found. It's about decorator pattern. So 68% of applications have about 5-to-1 patterns of decorator. It's not big, but decorator is most popular design pattern in Android applications. So it's quite scary that a lot of people forget about this pattern. Next one. Okay, and what is not funny when I've learned about many applications, that they, in the code, write the secret passwords. So the first example is super secret key inside code, which is not scrambled, not even hidden behind me. That's just send a request and the address. The second one is even more dangerous because I can include this as a jar to my library and just call it from the jar. So it's, and the most funny is this one. It's like, okay, I have the B, but I want to hide it from I don't know who, because it's clearly database, but I don't know why it's called MP3. It's like, you know, it's come on, it's like this sign. What's the point of hiding something which is not hidden? What's the point of trying to hide, but you know that hiding will not prevent you from really hiding, because it's clearly, okay, this is clearly the database, this is clearly usernames. So what's the point? How to prevent? So there is a question, of course, on Stack Overflow, how to prevent disassembling your application. And the simple answer, you cannot prevent it. You can try to hide your application. You can create obfuscation through the prog guard, and I will show you very simple, very slight glimpse how to do it. You can, second thing you can do, you can hide your implementation behind web server. So for example, if something is doing the action of extracting data from somewhere, it's not wise, from my perspective, to write the parsers in your code, but you can hide it behind the web server. I stumbled upon the example when the we have the camera. Okay, so it was a transport application, and the guy wrote about 5 to 10 parsers from different national transport websites to parse and get information about travel. And it was all inside the application. So basically, if you want to start and you want to be competitive in this field, you just take the application, look at it, and you have all the answers. Instead, he could hide it behind the web server, so only the web server knows where we parse, where we find for the information, and then send it to the application. The logic is the same. We still use the internet, so there is no point of saying, okay, we save some internet. But we can, for example, add more and more transport companies to the web server without modifying the web application. The next thing is use Android NDK, and I have very good example of this. The banking company, the company which created the application for bank, created the implementation was in Lua. Do you know the language Lua?
No.
Yeah, it was the language used in games, mostly for scripting AI for games, and right now it's used in many cases, even in web servers. But it was curious, they created a Lua script, then they compile it, and there is no tool to decompile the Lua. So even I decompile the Java, I cannot go further and look what have they done in Lua script. It's good example, and other examples, if you create a game to hide all the physics in C++ in .so libraries, because it will be much tougher to decompile and understand your game or modify its behavior. For example, modifying the score game or scoreboard to get advantage or and not to pay you money for additional bonuses. So, for example, the game engine, which is called Snap. Doesn't matter. There are a lot of game engines which also create a Lua extension, and they hide the implementation behind the Lua, and you cannot easily modify the scoreboard and go through the bonuses. And the last example is the horrible example. I found an application which was 94% useless stuff because they forgot to remove three libraries for JSON, Apache Commons from 2 different sources, and 94% of the code was useless. Only 6% was used for discovering ATM machines. So only if you write an ATM machine software, it's simple. You get the location, you send the location to the server, get the information from what are the ATMs around you, and then they put statistics, advertisement from 2 companies, and every advertisement company library have their own implementation of sending and receiving messages. So JSON parsers, Apache Commons, and so on. And this makes this application from 200 kilos, which it should be, to 3 mega. So it's a lot. And for user which use data, it's also a lot. So, I'm sorry. Okay. This is silly to prevent like this. There are more and better ways to prevent your code. This is called OWASP Mobile. The OWASP is an organization which shows you and gives you guidelines how to protect your applications. And mobile is something special for only mobile applications. They have this 10 steps what you need to think about when you publish application. And what's most important, and I encourage you, not write keys or passwords in your application. The worst possible case. For example, there is some application which checks prices, and they have strictly key written in their code. It's not bad because it's open API. You can query them and look for the products you like. But let's think about you are abusing their license key. So what they do? They have 2 options. They could change the license key, so many applications will not work, or still allow you abuse because they cannot discover or distinguish you between the application and between you and real users of application. So if you want to store or have the API key in your application, wait for the application to start, then get it from the server, save it, and if you have one key for one user, you can easily revoke it if it will be abused, without updating application, without doing a lot of needless stuff. Okay. What's more? This is silly. Okay. I have lost ProGuard. Okay, here's it. So ProGuard is really simple. It's already in your Eclipse environment. It's just, you need to enable it, and here's the link to enable it. You need to just remove one comment, and then it will automatically obfuscate your code. If something goes wrong, there is the second option, keep public class. So if something goes wrong, it will tell you, okay, I lost this class because I renamed it to A.A.A. You keep it, so you keep the name, and it will probably work. Next, create an application, and then the most important, disable it and look at the code. Because sometimes you create obfuscation code, you hide your code, hide your source code, but still you have a lot of things which are revealed just in front of the user. Yes, I was talking about web server. I lost it. Another important thing, it's SSL connection. If you create a web server and your application talking with web server, you need to create SSL connection, because it will, for example, first of all, it will hide your users from the attackers, and then you will hide your communication from the attackers. You can obtain a free SSL certificate, so it's not about the money. Okay, this is silly. There is a very good book about decompiling Android. They have a company which helps you to audit your application, and they have a tool which helps you to fight the dex2jar, the compiler. It adds some code additional which breaks the compiler. Three very important sources: Stack Overflow. There is a Stack Overflow for reverse engineering, and forum for XNA developers. And that's all. Thank you very much. Any questions? No questions. Okay, the presentation will be at my homepage of Google Plus or LinkedIn. If you'd like to chat more or know more, I will be more than happy to help you. And if you like to audit application, write me an email. I will also help you. Okay, thank you.